Hello children, welcome to another story time with me, Mrs. Gurr. And today's story has been written by Mwenyi Hadithi and it's been illustrated by Adrienne Kenaway, and the story is Greedy Zebra. Long, long ago, all the animals in the world were a dull, depressing colour. No coats, no horns, no spots and no stripes, just dull and dusty until one stormy day, in the heart of the leafy forests of Africa, there was a great rumbling in the earth, and all of a sudden a huge cave appeared in the ground. A few of the animals crept cautiously up to this new and wonderful sight, and when the bravest of them peered in, he saw something glistening amongst the rocks. The cave was full of furs and skins, all glossy and new. Stepping inside, he came across some horns and tails of countless shapes and sizes, and needles and threads of 1,000 different colours. Trembling with excitement, he rushed out to tell the other animals what he had seen. The news spread far and wide, and soon all the animals were on their way to see the cave, running and jumping and sliding and swinging and slithering through the trees. All that is, except for one, Greedy Zebra. Greedy Zebra never stopped eating. He certainly wasn't going to stop a single mouthful for a silly old cave. Lots of time to go visiting caves, mumbled Greedy Zebra, stuffing far too much grass in his mouth. Plenty of time. Soon, all of the animals in the jungle were gathered at the mouth of the cave, waiting for Elephant to speak. Elephant was the one who knew everything, because Eagle told him all the secrets of the spirit of the mist. He coughed pompously and addressed the gathering. It is time for you all to have coats, he said. There are all kinds of materials here from which you may choose. You will be issued with needles from rabbit, but there is only one needle, so take good care of it. Now you may go in, but no shoving and no pushing, and keep in an orderly line. Meanwhile, Greedy Zebra was still eating. Munch, munch. This particular grass is so delicious. He stopped to gape at the beautiful thing in front of him. It couldn't be, but it was Sable the antelope, and she was wearing the most glorious new coat and horns. She was wearing horns? When Greedy Zebra heard that the coat and the horns had come from the cave, he trotted off as fast as his fat little legs could carry him. But he couldn't resist a leaf here or a succulent blade of grass there. Oh, and that patch was too good to pass by without one little bite. From time to time, he met another and another and yet another of the wonderfully coloured clothed animals. Stopping for a last bite, not far from the cave, he watched Leopard finish her sewing. Leopard, as careful as usual, had sewn the most splendid fur coat with spots all over it. Greedy Zebra could hardly believe his eyes as he watched Leopard wiggle into the perfectly fitting fur. I shall have spots like that, he said to himself, and he hurried off, eager to reach the cave. But it was a hot day, so he stopped for a cool drink at the stream, and there he came across a patch of the greenest grass he'd ever seen. Delicious, he said, munching his lips. Back at the cave, most of the animals were leaving. Only Rhino and Elephant were still cutting their material. They had chosen a very strong grey cloth. Poor old Rhino. He was very short-sighted and had stuck his horns on any old how, and was having a terrible time. He was too nervous to ask Elephant for help, because he knew that pompous animal would only make fun of him. He dropped his needle, and the more he looked for it, the further into the bushes he kicked it. He put on the baggy coat and shuffled off in a very bad mood. Just then, Greedy Zebra trotted by with blades of glass. I'll have spots like leopard, and horns like kudu, and a mane like lion, and a tail like cheetah. I shall be the finest looking animal in the forest. And he gave a slow, short gallop into the cave. Then he stopped aghast. There was nothing left. No horns, no fine cloth, nothing. Frantically he searched through the cave, but all he could find were a few strips of black material. Forlornly, he cut them all to the same size and stitched them together. It looks very tight, he thought nervously to himself. Being such a very fat zebra, he had a terrible time squeezing into his coat. He pushed and grunted and oohed and ahed and pop! He was inside it. But what a tight fit! It was nearly bursting at the seams, around his fat tummy. He trotted down to the stream to take a quick bite of a leafy bush, and pop! His coat popped open. Pop, pop, pop! His tubby tummy squeezed through the seams. How the monkeys roared with laughter. To this day, his chubby stomach shines through his coat because he is so greedy. I hope you enjoyed that story of how all the animals got their coats. See you soon. Bye.